play a game. Alright, let's play a game, shall we? It's medium. I'll take medium. That's fine. Medium is acceptable. Hey, Sam. Hope everyone's doing alright. Oh, I was hoping to get a stream in last night, but ended up having too much going on. Thanks, Spiked. It's kind of nice when things come together. That Abzan deck definitely feels super reasonable. It actually feels very similar to this deck. Like there's a lot of parallels between this Blood Sapphire control deck and that Abzan deck that I played. Both just like 27 land control decks trying to play like some efficient efficient threats and a bunch of sweepers. A couple over the top cards. We've got Uru. Their deck has Sorin, etc. Thanks, Deathly. The next long stream on the 2nd is going to have a large magic portion in it for sure, because a lot of those subs came from Magic folks. And we're still going to do Magic on occasion. It's just not going to be in the regular schedule. I think we'll probably do like Magic once a month. Plus, it's one of the best ways to bring more people into Hexes. Catch them with some Magic, show them how awful the Magic Online client is, and then show them how pretty the Hex client is afterwards. Any good sacrifice decks? No, nothing that I've seen. I've seen a few people trying to abuse the one drop, whatever that Shin hair is that like levels up as you sack things, but never to a ton of success. Also, as a heads up, if you notice any issues with the stream, like something's frozen or something's not showing up right, please let me know in chat. Since I'm streaming from my laptop for the first time in a long time, I don't have my second monitor set up. So this hand's like a solid medium. Opponent's playing Cressida, which means they're on some type of ramp strategy. I think turn 2 Exarch, turn 3 Oracle Sign on the play is fine. So we get to lead on Sapphire here. We get a little punish for this if we draw like exactly Inquisition next turn, but I don't think that's a big deal. We can still play Exarch on 2 if we draw Inquisition. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Duck. Yep, has Howling Brave on 1, sure. So ideally looking to find a copy of Extinction ASAP against the deck full of critters. Look, God, I am such a professional. If you've ever wondered how you top 4 events without dropping matches in the Swiss, this is how you do it right here. This curve is gross now. Wonderful. God bless you, Kismet. I'm actually still on vacation. I'm streaming from my wife's friend's living room right now, and their internet connection seems very solid. I speed tested it last night, and it was 20 Mbps up, so should have a reasonably stable stream for the day. Ooh, that's terrifying. So this card, for people that aren't aware, whenever my opponent plays a card that costs 5 or more, they copy it. So basically they get two copies of it. So we're most definitely just like blowing our load on this Extinction on turn 4. So just like even just to clear up these two is good. Hopefully my opponent plays a Shard, activates Cressida, and then casts a 5-drop next turn without speed, so that way our Extinction gets to clean up an extra guy. Chat is frozen on screen. I had this issue before. Okay, we're gonna try. Thank you for the heads up on that. I think I have to. I don't know what the issue is, and I'm not gonna sit here and debug it. So let's just change to the ugly chat box for the day. Or for the week, I suppose, so I'm going to be streaming from here tomorrow as well. So let's do thereabouts, maybe. Nice, winged. Alright, has another Howling Brave. Oh, he's activating Howling Brave, sorry. I was playing with the chat and didn't see what he was doing. Hopefully he's got... Shard Prism Cycle's not great for us, because I'd like him to play more idiots out into our extinction. Yeah, that explains the webcam. I've got just an extra dinky webcam set up here. I'm actually using the webcam microphone as opposed. I didn't bring my nice headset with me, because I didn't want it to break. Shard of Savory. Now the question is, do I cash in an extinction next turn? Do I cash in an extinction next turn just to like trade 2 for 2, or do I get greedy and wait? I think I want to get greedy and wait. My opponent can't. Like, what's the worst thing my opponent can do to me next turn? Although this makes me not want to wait. Okay, so let's think about this here for a second. So my opponent can play a shard and put him up to 4, activate Cressida, get to 6, and then I could still extinction him. However, yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait. We could like extinction and then hope to jam VK the next turn, but I think I'd rather just like wait 1 turn at least. And not, like, I'm representing counter magic too, so he might just play out like a middle class threat. Of course, Periwinkle doubles it. If there was a chance we could get root deaded next turn, like actual worst case scenario here, as my opponent goes shard, activate Cressida, and then double Eye of Creations and hits a bunch of root deads. Okay, so he's going 6. Ooh, that's pretty good. I guess that's not actually that good, right? It's just gonna like draw him 2 cards and gain him 2 life. Or gain him 4 life. So Balthazar, when it comes into play, you draw cards equal to the highest power among troops you control, and then gain life equal to the highest toughness. So he gained 2 twice and then drew 1 card twice. Doesn't seem particularly good. And he burned his champion power to do that. I'd much rather he played like a Green Paw Emancipator or something like that there. Yeah, he didn't have enough resources to... Oh, that was a mistake. That Shard Prism should have gotten a... it should have made a Wild or a Ruby there. So, I'm going to go ahead and attack with both of these guys here. And then play out an Extinction here. An Extinction puts my opponent a good bit behind. They already burned their Cressida power. He should have blocked here, because this attack very obviously indicates an Extinction. I'm doing well, Migraine. So my opponent plays his 5th resource out here. Now, even if he has like Green Paw Emancipator here, I have a second Extinction to follow this up. So like if he plays Green Paw out here, actually if he just plays any threat here, I think we're gonna go like Blood Shard, Exarch Extinction, or Extinction Exarch next turn. Then the following turn we can get the VK down. Although I suppose deploying the VK next turn allows us to start pressuring his hand before he can play Root Dead. But if he has a Shard next turn, he can play Root Dead regardless. Eye for 2, that's bold. Is he lucky? Wow. Alrighty. The old Eye for 2 hit on both. So we're definitely casting the Extinction next turn. Well then. That's a thing that just happened. Mass Poly Dingler is a wonderful draw. God, now that I have the Mass Poly. Yeah, I'm actually gonna Oracle Song here. I shouldn't have played my Shard. Playing the Shard was wrong. So I'm gonna Oracle Song here, and we're probably gonna draw a dual Shard that doesn't make a temporary resource. Ooh, we drew Inquisition. Huh. So many choices here. I think I just have to play Exarch of the Egg to threaten a block on this dork though. So I'm just gonna play this, and then hopefully he like attacks with this, we don't block, and then he plays another threat, and then we Extinction them all away. If he has a Root Dad with speed here, he's gonna hit us for a lot, but then we also get to clean up that Root Dad with Extinction, so like it's kind of split, especially since we're at 25 life. Yes, this is going to be a Borean Root Father with speed and damage, I assume. Yep. So we're going to take 8 when this comes into play. And then he's probably just shipping with everything, I'd assume here. which means we're going to end up taking 16 altogether. We're going to throw the extra of the egg in front of the root dad to block. So we take another 8 from these dorks. Gets a rhino. Let's lead on Inquisition here and see what we got going on. Man, not hitting a shard there is really unlucky. That's really unlucky. Well, his hand is actual garbage. So let's do that and cast our second extinction. Opponent's hand is 3 shards. One of his shards does cycle, so he's got that going for him. But we do get to just like stick VK next turn. Like if he draws the Borean Rootfather here, we're dead, obviously. Well, I can't play against. Oh my god. That's Cast Eye of Creation for 2. Hits both cards. Has 1 turn window to draw Borean Rootfather. Fucking draws the Borean Rootfather. Yep. That's the game sometimes, you know? You gotta laugh and move on with your life, because otherwise you'll go insane. Alright, so we're boarding out the counter target non-troop card for just general counter magic, because that's more powerful in this matchup. Do I want an extra transmografade? Yeah, apologies, I shouldn't swear. That's frustrating. It's like he hit the perfects twice. Ugh. Alright, anywho. I think I just want the Reap Skills and Extinctions. I don't think I want another Transmog. Like, transmogging a Root Dad is awful. Transmogging Periwinkle's not terrible. Maybe I actually want, like, Kiss. Because, like, kissing Periwinkle's better than transmogging it. I'm actually going to try that. This might be loose. I guess Transmog's better against Hulling Brave, but, like, I really don't care about his Hulling Braves most of the time. No, Kalidas is way... Huntmaster, in my opinion, is unplayable in Jund. It's garbage. You should be playing Pian, Kryn, or Kalidas, and Kalidas is the much better of the two. We need to stay on top of that. Apparently the Hex window froze. Remember, it's been so long since I streamed on this computer, I forgot about the issues it has. This hand's a solid medium. I'm going to keep it, but it's definitely not exciting. That's really unfortunate. Like, our hand last game was, like, really good. I just can't beat the top of their deck sometimes. Yeah, the rarity of cards definitely determines the price by a lot. Well, he doesn't have his Dork on one, so that's nice. Worth noting that if this is a Transmog, we wouldn't be able to play. If both of these were Transmogs, we wouldn't be able to play either of them this game. See if he's got just no acceleration. Okay, so he has an elf in his hand, so probably has a Periwinkle he can't play. Really need some Sapphire. So this is actually a great draw. Like, this hand has a bunch of 1-for-1 removals in it, and we need a way like Oracle Song or Liner Plus Light to like pull ourselves ahead and actually generate card advantage. We need to draw a Sapphire Shard to play this one, obviously. So let's see. We'll see. Opponent is stuck on shards though, so I got that going for us. We're stuck on colors, but they're stuck on shards, so God bless you, Kismet. Let's go ahead and queue this up, and then hopefully that'll propel us into winning this game. I'm gonna take the stop off of my ready step. It does not need to be there for this deck. think my wife was playing the Blast Forge deck on this computer, and that's why the stop was at already step. Drew Dye, you asked about what deck I think you should play for the finales. You just play whatever deck you think is the most powerful. I mean, the Blast Forge deck is obviously, like, I think is everyone's choice for, like, the best deck in the format, but I don't think it's that much better than a lot of the other things that are good. Alright, Kyola draws a card. And again, we really just want to draw, like, a VK here. What did he bend? Bend a troop, and a move that surprises no one. So one of these kills, this one draws a card from the landing pause site. Alright, opponent just concedes. Sure, that game wasn't anywhere near over, but I'll take a freebie after he ranched us in the first game. Kiss is a lot worse than the draw. I'm gonna go 1 kiss and 2 transmogs on the draw, I think. I guess I also wouldn't hate like a Grave Offering or a Charge Colossus, because like Grave Offering we can pull the stuff out of his script, but I think 2 transmogs fine. It's like slowest Dork Stone. Ever played Soul Forge? No, I don't think I ever have. I never touched it. That was Kibler's old game, right? I don't know what it is, but it always freezes. I should probably stop showing you my Facebook when I do that. I guess there's nothing on my Facebook you can't be seeing, but yeah, this sounds very good. Extinction in the opener, some acceleration, or it's not acceleration, but cards that let us draw more cards. And like this hand really shows like how much better Landing Pod Sight is on the draw than Oracle Song is, and kind of why I have a split. Not only is Landing Pod Sight like more cards overall, but like we can't cast this Oracle Song without discarding on 3 unless we rip an Inquisition in our first 2 draw steps. So ideally we're just gonna go resource, Sight, Extinction on 4, and then just keep playing from there. Opponent doesn't have an accelerant on 1, could possibly have an accelerant on 2. They got 7 this time around, so I'm assuming their hand's going to be much better. Alright, there's another shard doesn't make a temporary resource. They could have Howling Brave this turn still. Second Wild probably means they don't have Howling Brave, though. Yeah. They just keep an accelerant-less hand. Inquisition. Exarch's great. Gives us the play. I think do I want to play this out? That's a real question. Yeah, I'm going to play this out because opponent keeping a hand that doesn't have any accelerants in it probably means it's a turn 3 Hierophant. And I really don't want to get hit by that, so I'm just going to play this out. We have like enough cards to like generate card advantage that throwing this away alongside Extinction is probably just fine. You could also have like Wrathwood Master Moss here. Periwinkle, sure. Do I want to reap this? Is a real question. Well, definitely playing that. Well, there's 2 reap and 2 kill. So Periwinkle's not scary for a little bit. The problem is my opponent has shown me that he's very willing to be aggressive with his Eye of Creations. I think I'm just going to Landing Pause Sight this. Yeah, I'm just going to Landing Pause Sight this turn. If he wants to go Shard, activate Cressida, and basically Eye for 4 with the Periwinkle, I think that's fine. Statistically speaking, Eye for 4 shouldn't be that good. And then we can always just Extinction or Reap next turn. Like, he might just not even have a play. Like I said, I'm a little surprised at this Wrathwood Master Moss. Sure. And I'm glad I saved the Reap, because now I want to Reap his Wrathwood, so that way, hey, look at that, Reap draw card. So we Reap the Wrathwood here, so that way when we Extinction next turn, it gets cleared away. It's always a little unfortunate when this hits, when Landing Pause Sight hits a Shard Prism, because like, ideally I'd like to cycle these in the late game, but if it draws a card, we're definitely playing it, because it cycles that way, obviously. So next turn, he can't Root Data us next turn yet, so we're just going to go ahead and pass the turn here. If he has a way to clear this Exarch, he could flip this. So this card, this was a 5/5, and when this 5/5 dies, it turns into this 2/2, and when this 2/2 deals damage to us, it turns back into the 5/5. So basically, it's just a very resilient threat for our opponent. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otsnu. It's a little bit difficult for me. Normally, I'm fairly interactive with the chat, but it's kind of difficult for me keeping track of everything that's going on. I'm streaming on vacation this week, so I'm playing from a computer that only has one monitor when I'm used to working with two. So no attack here. Now the question becomes, I mean, I definitely have to Extinction, right? He probably has a Borean Rootfather, but if he has a Borean Rootfather next turn, he's going to get to double it anyways, and then I'm basically dead, so I should just, yeah, I'm just going to attack for 1 here and then cash in this Extinction. Bring another monitor, right? Well, I appreciate you hanging out, Austin. If you have any questions, so Extinction is a sweeper who's going to kill everything, and it's kind of a 2 for 2. It's a little awkward because like my opponent's one card, I already spent a card to kill effectively. So if he has a Borean Rootfather here, he can activate his champion power and then play it. And a Borean Rootfather is a card with speed that deals damage equal to its power when it comes into play to us, is the customization my opponent usually has on it. Yep. So this is an 8/8. And when it comes into play, it does 8 damage to us because that's its power. And then speed means it can attack right away. So we're going to take 16 from this card this turn, which is a huge beating. That's insane, Fat. Alright, so we're going to 9 here, which is not a lot of life. VK's one of our ideal draws here, so we're going to go ahead and reap this guy. An opponent doesn't have another shard. They didn't play a shard last turn, so that means they do have more action in their hand. I could cast Oracle Song here to just draw 2 cards, but I'd much rather hold up this kill. Because my opponent has another Borean Rootfather, it's going to put me to 1 from its enter play trigger, and then I need to kill it before it attacks me with speed. As Runir Hierophant, sure. So a little bit punished for taking a slightly conservative line here, but that's fine. And a puck, all right. And now the question becomes, he could have another Borean Rootfather and was just trying to play around counter magic here. So I think I'm going to start by Oracle Songing here and see if we hit an Extinction to clean up these dorks. And we did. Okay. And opponent, again, if opponent has the second Borean Rootfather like they did in game 1, there's not really anything we can do about it. I think this is our best chance to win. If he has the second Borean Rootfather, playing out the VK is not going to be a good line either way. Oh, and this VK draws a card from earlier, right? Yep, we played a Landing Plot Site earlier, which makes our next troop draw a card. So if he activates Crested Arrow, we're probably going to die this turn. Crimson, we are... we made it successfully to Dallas. Oh, just an empowered thing. Well, that's good for us. So the 8/8 is, this 8/8 is not bad for us. This is an empowered card, so my opponent turned their 3-cost 4/4 into a 6-cost 8/8. The card kind of scales, which is neat. And then this Vampire King can allow us to stabilize the game a little bit here because it is life drain. So this is a little awkward. Now I have to... I think I'm just supposed to not cast the Inquisition here. I'm definitely playing my shard out here. Yeah, Juju, Hex Primal, what he said is the fastest and easiest way to do it. So, here's the problem. If I Inquisition him and he could just have a blank in his hand. But he also has been using all of his resources every turn, so there's a chance that the last card in his hand does something. And if the last card in his hand does something, this is the last chance for this Inquisition to be live. The problem here is I don't want to chump block with my Vampire King next turn, which means I'm going to have to go to 1 if I cast this Inquisition. The other thing is, my opponent's card might not be anything scary, but I guess it could be like a Balthazar. So this is game 3. So what are we? Anyone weigh your thoughts on here? Would you play the Inquisition here, or would you just kill his empowered guy? Part of me wants to be a little aggressive and use my life total as a resource here. Thoughts? We'd wait and kill. So we're hoping this card is blank. The problem is we don't have an answer to this card. Like if his last card does anything here, yeah, we have life gain. Like that's the thing. Like we have the ability to gain life on the table. And the problem is, if this card is any sort of threat, we don't have a second answer in our hand to deal with it. Like, this kill mops up this 8/8, but, like... I mean, we're dead to a Root Father regardless. I'm going to Inquisition, because if this card's a threat, we're going to... It's a puck, which isn't, a big threat, but it still gets a 1-for-1 out of this Inquisition at the cost of some life points here. Because we just played this. We drew the Inquisition off of the Prophecies when you play this draw card. Okay, so we're taking 8 here. Okay, opponent drew a shard. That's good for us. So next turn, we get to activate. I mean, we're always dead to Root Father. We're never not dead to Root Father until we draw like counter magic. So we're gonna start by activating this and drawing some cards. So my champion power creates a 3-cost target player draws 2. Let's start by doing that. Urnaz. So this is a 5/5 dragon that when it comes into play or deals damage to my opponent, we get to take a troop from their crypt and put it into play under our control. So let's go ahead and crunch here. And if opponent has 1 to 2, we need to dodge Root Father for a few turns. Yeah, shards are effectively lands. So what bombs does he have in here? He's got a... Oh, he's got an Aborian Root Father that we can take at some point. Sweet. We don't have a Ruby Shard, though, so we won't be able to use that on it, which is unfortunate. Should probably just use the kill now. I'm just going to use that now just so he can't draw anything weird and get us. So we could still just lose here, obviously. But, you know, we're in a pretty good spot. Like, his average top deck is losing to what we have right now, I think. He has, like, Eye of Creation and additional Aborian Root Fathers that are exactly... Yeah, Periwinkle doesn't really matter. Very likely playing Kiki this weekend, yes. Alright, putting our shard out. Now the question comes, do I want to Extinction his Periwinkle? I don't think I do, because we're dead to an Aborian Root Father off the top regardless. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and play the Urnaz out here. And accept. Which of these things do I want? So I get to put any troop from my opponent's crypt into play under my control. I might just take the Ruiner Hierophant. It makes blockers. I'm going to do that. So the Aborian Root Father, I don't have a Ruby Gem, so I wouldn't get to deal damage to my opponent with it. Yeah, the dragon's very powerful. It also costs 7, so like this card's very expensive. So if opponent draws another brick here, that should basically be the game. I guess we technically need 2 more bricks out of them, right? Alright, well, he had a Cycler, so I got to just draw another card here. And that's why Shard Prism's very good. Like, You know, you get to cycle the shards in the late game. We don't need to draw them anymore. Drew another shard. Excellent for us. Opponent gets to gain 3 life with that though, so they go to 16. Counter magic. All right, that'll lock up the game. So counter magic means, well, I guess it doesn't lock up the game. If he hits Eye of Creation, it's 2 really good eyes. We could lose, but even a single Aborian Rootfather does not beat us at this point. So let's put his 8/8 into play under our control. So like I said, a really good Eye of Creation here could still lose us the game, but we now beat Aborian Rootfather, which is a nice thing to have. And we could theoretically beat an Eye of Creation, but look at that. God bless you. We needed it. So again, opponent, there's 2 Aborian Rootfathers here because my opponent's Periwinkle, when he casts a card that costs 5 or more, it doubles it. And now this one does some damages to us here, but we've got plenty of blockers. I have green because I've reaped my opponent's troops. And I also have Shard Prisms of my own. So Reap and Shard Prism allow us to have our opponent's colors. It was almost gross. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It was almost real bad for us. Real close game. Whew. Got almost 100 people hanging out here this afternoon. Welcome. Let's go ahead and queue up another match here. Thank you everyone for hanging out here today. Welcome to the stream. If it's your first time by, my name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a professional gamer, and here on this channel we play a bunch of different TCGs, but primarily Hex. If you're interested in Hex, there's some links below the stream to some information about this game. It has some parallels to Magic the Gathering, but has a lot of things that are unique about it. I actually wrote a short comparison here that talks about an introduction to Hex geared specifically at Magic players. There's similar guides for like Hearthstone and stuff like that. Like draw some comparisons. Like this is how resources work, and these are your troops and non-troops and stuff like that, etc., etc. Any merit to trying to update the Blood Moon deck that was around preset 4? Yeah, Immortals, I actually started with the Blood Moon variation when I started building this deck, and I basically just came to the conclusion that like splashing Winter Moon just wasn't worthwhile. Scrap the Endless is in the sideboard because I wanted additional threats against the like Blood Mirrors, like against Kaigalichu decks. That's why I have a Charge Colossus in there as well. I just want something that's gonna like, it's going to be difficult to remove in a 1-for-1 fashion. The fact that they're artifacts also means they dodge kill, because kill doesn't kill artifact troops, which is nice. He would have had to block with the Periwinkle, sure. And then Eye of Creation is no longer an out. You are correct. I agree with your assessment that line is better. Alright, so opponent's playing McBombus, and this matchup can be a little bit difficult game 1 before we have Vampire Princess in our deck, but again, one of the things I really love about this game is that we get to make educated mulligan decisions based on the champion that my opponent's playing. I agree, Feeling End. Hey, K-Smith. Azure Cannon is a little bit blah right now. I don't know if I want to keep this hand in this matchup. We don't have a second blood. Extinction is pretty meh against most Bombus decks. Oracle Song is medium. Our opponent plays a troop that goes back to their hand every turn, and Reap is a basic action, so this can't kill that. Yeah, I'm just going to mulligan this, I think. Rewarded for mulliganing a closed hand by an unkeepable 6. Let's go to 5. This hand is literally the other one. I guess we have one more shard in this hand, but it's not stellar, obviously. Hey, Ian. Alright, Inquisition's not bad. So like if we actually draw a blood, so this is a 2-cost discard spell, but it requires double blood threshold. So if we draw a blood shard next turn, we can go ahead and play this out. And if we curve Inquisition into Oracle Song into Extinction, possibly, like, this hand could end up being very reasonable. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead. We did not hit our second blood threshold for that. So this is effectively a colorless shard. When you play it, it gives a resource and it gives you a charge, but doesn't make any thresholds for us. But if we pay 3 and discard it and draw a card, it can filter into a color for us. So really, really neat design on that card. Opponent hasn't played on another troop yet, which is good for us. He could possibly have a Thunderfield Elder this turn. Nope, just no second play is great for us. I'm going to go ahead and play Shard Prism here, and then, which again, you see it gave us a resource, but it didn't increase my thresholds at all at the bottom of the screen. And I'm just going to go ahead and cast Oracle Song this turn. Try and unmulligan a little bit. I wonder what's in my opponent's hand. Maybe they have a bunch of double ruby cards, or they're holding cards to play a Phoenix out, but I guess Phoenix is also double ruby. Okay, so my opponent's played a Crackling Bolt, which does 3 damage to my dome, and then he's gone ahead and activated his champion power here, which if he's played an action this turn, he gets to make a 1/1. This turn's very good for my opponent, and this is the card that my opponent, I mentioned earlier, that goes back to my opponent's hand. This is a 2/2 with flying and speed, and an ability called Rage 1, where every time this card attacks, it permanently gains 1 power. So it is now a 3/2 forever. So next turn when he plays this out, it'll be attacking for 4. Oracle Song is not literally divination, because Oracle Song is target player as opposed to you draw, so you can target your opponent with it. I think I'm going to play this Blood Shard out and cast Inquisition this turn. Probably take away my opponent's Flickering Gobbler. And then we have Verdict of the Ancient Kings up for next turn. And he does in fact just have a bunch of double. So my opponent only has a single ruby threshold right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and take a Knob Gobbler away here. If my opponent draws exactly ruby shard next turn, that wouldn't be great for us, but otherwise we're in an okay spot if they brick off for a couple of turns. If they brick off and we find a Vampire King, we're going to be in an amazing spot. God bless America. So probably just casting Ragefire here. I'm just going to cast Verdict. So what Ragefire does, this card's sweet design. It does 2 damage to a champion or troop, and then it puts itself back into your deck, and then adds 2 to every version. So the next Ragefire would do 4 if this one resolves. So I'm just going to go ahead and counter this one, get it out of here. My opponent does get to activate their champion power and put another Bumblebot into play and crack us for 3, though. Really want to draw a Vampire King so I have a way to start buffering my life total, or Transmogs or something. Reap can kill a Phoenix after it hits us once. I'm going to go ahead and play Shard of Cutting out here and grab another Blood Shard. And I'm just going to go ahead and cash in this Extinction. If my opponent hits exactly a shard that makes a temporary resource next turn, they get to start jamming Phoenixes down our throat, but it's not great either way. No, the Ragefire, the cost always... God, just... Ugh. So the Phoenix can come back into play with actions in my opponent's crypt, but he only has 2 in there, so I guess we're in an okay spot if we run off another removal spell here. We're going to 8 off of this, and then we kill it, and then the next Phoenix is going to put us to 4 next turn. So I would like to draw Inquisition this turn, I think. Blood Shard means I can cycle the Shard Prism, which is nice. Maybe I want to do that first. Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and do this first. I should have done that before I played anything out there. That was sloppy on my part. And we just drew a shard, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and grab a ruby. I'm going to go ahead and reap this Phoenix. And again, now next turn we need to draw an answer to his Phoenix and hope he doesn't draw other things that just kill us here. So VK or Uranaz would be good draws for next turn. Plays a Phoenix, cracks us for 4. So we do get 3 draws next turn. We get our draw step for the turn, plus we get to play a shard and activate our champion ability. Transmog could be good or bad. It turns our opponent's troop into something random that costs 1 less. So a lot of 5 costs have 4 or more power though, so this might not be good enough. We wanted this like last turn before he hit us with it. Extinction or another removal would be good here. Inquisition is going to be a turn late. Needed this last turn so that way we could take this before he played it. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this now and find out if we're dead or not. Something with less than 4 power, please. What does this do? Quick, can't be blocked. Okay, sure. All right, well, we're not dead yet. Technically not dead. Again, this matchup's definitely hard game 1. An opponent had a really awkward hand and then ran off the 2 shards they needed to just make it not awkward. Super immediately punished for having played the transmog on my turn because my opponent had a card that gave him 1 more power. So opponent got a little bit fortunate, and I took a line that allowed my opponent to have the card to kill us. So we bring in Vampire Princesses and Vampire Kisses. Extinction and Mass Polydingla are not good in this matchup, just like really clunky removal spells. I like Transmog generally. Uranaz is also a little bit slow. Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to board out both of those and we'll just become like a vampire deck post board. So let's leave one top end bomb in. I guess this blocks okay. Yeah, blocking's probably a good thing. So yeah, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and submit like this. I like the verdicts in. I don't like counter magic because they can be difficult to cast in this deck. I only like to bring these in when like it's a must-have effect or the game's going to go really long. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and save this. So we got more ways to gain life. We got more ways to block flyers. We got more ways to kill us flyers. I'd like to play first. This hand's not great, but I think it's keepable. It's a little slow, but we're on the play. We have to like cast Oracle Song on 3, cast VK on 4. Put a mulligan. It's good for us. Always lead on Blood Shard here because if we draw an Inquisition next turn, I want to be able to cast it on 2, and again, it requires double blood threshold to do that. Alright, no turn 1 play. The opponent's deck often doesn't have a turn 1 play though, so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and play the Sapphire straight out here since we do Transmog, in case we want to Transmog something that he plays. Not terribly likely, but like on the off chance he's something weird like Scorch into Gobbler us. Verdict's not the worst. Counters non-troop card. Go and play Oracle Song out here. Okay. It's possible I don't want all these transmogs in my deck. I don't know. Turning Gobbler into something worth is definitely worthwhile. Arcane Focus, sure. So could go Shard into Gobbler here. I think if he goes Shard into Gobbler, I still want to play the VK out next turn. You go Shard Gobbler plus this. Or that plus Gobbler. No Gobbler, that's good. They're currently competitive Spider decks. There are a few people that have been putting up fringe results with the Spiders deck, but I don't think the Spiders deck is great on average right now. So because we drew the Inquisition here, I'm actually going to do that before I play this VK out, just to like check and make sure it's not going to get transmogged or something. Oh, he's got a bunch of troops in his hand, huh? What does this do? This enters play. The next troop in your deck gets when this enters play, put target troop with Put target action with cost secret less than the cost from encryption into your hands. Interesting. Well, now I really wish I would have just jammed the VK in here. Yeah, we're gonna take away his Great Gobbler, I suppose. I really wish I just would have jammed the VK since he has no actions in his hand and just a bunch of dirtily troops. Oh, this has flight. Don't I want to transmog this? I think I want to transmog this just because it can block the VK. Wow, that was just the absolute worst case scenario there. Oh, let's do it again. Sure. Spend 2 cards to give him a 2-1. I mean, the 5/5 couldn't block the VK, which is what I wanted, right? You know? Ask and you shall receive. Just like instantly punished. My opponent draws possibly the best non-troop in their deck, and I can't. Chat is frozen on screen again. Wait, chat looks like it's working fine here. It's working on the preview. Chat looks fine. I'm going to ship with this VK here. It's probably jumping. No, transmog reverts a card before anything happens, so it turns it back into its base form, basically. Yeah, I'm just gonna play Vampire Princess out here. Maybe I'm supposed to hold up these verdicts, but opponent's getting to play Phoenix next turn anyways, so I think I just want to like get as much pressure on the table as possible. If he drew an action this turn, that would be bad, but maybe he just... Yeah, him just playing Phoenix is great for us. Infamous with the host, thank you. Welcome to his viewers. Let's go ahead and start with an Oracle song here. Pick up some new cards. Removal for this would be great. We are not gifted with removal for that. So I think at this point we just pass the turn. I think I just want to hold these verdicts up to protect my vampires. And then, because like my opponent's deck is not beating active vampires, basically. So next turn we can activate Dreaming Fox and then draw some cards and solve these verdicts up. Hey, Elwins. Those who just joining us, we're playing some Constructed this afternoon with a Blood Sapphire control deck that I've been working on. Got a couple of 5-0s. I have a 5-0, a 5-2, and a 4 wins in a gauntlet with this, I believe. There's some video archives of Reanimator variants being played here on stream. I think I'm just going to ship with this Princess here. He's likely to want to block. I don't really want to trade my VK Fist. Actually, maybe I'm just supposed to ship with both since I have both in my hand here. Yeah, actually, I think I'm supposed to just ship with both there. Play another Princess out. Let's see here. How many actions does he have? So my opponent can void actions from their crypt to get Sun Soul Phoenix back, but he needs 4 more in there, so he's not anywhere near that. No, there really isn't a budget replacement for Vampire King. Vampire King's not required to play Hex, so you should just play a deck without Vampire King. In fact, the of the 3 or 4 best decks in Hex right now, only one of them plays Vampire Kings. So, well, opponent has Verdict of the Ancient Kings in their hand. Let's just play another VK out here. And then double Verdict, we should just run away with this game pretty handily here. Would not be surprised if we just see a concession here. The fact that my opponent has Bogberg or whatever the card's called in his deck makes me think that he likely is like playing for a little bit longer game here. Actually, you know, I'm probably supposed to Verdict that Ragefire, yeah, because the next Ragefire then does more damage here. We know opponent has a Verdict of their own, but I've got a second Verdict here, so we're just gonna like shove it down their throat. I mean, a lot of the decks that play Vampire King also play Vampire Princess. Like this deck, you need both of these cards to play this deck efficiently. Another Ragefire. Yeah, it should have countered that first Ragefire. That's fine. We're still in a great spot here, obviously. Your billing IP address. That's weird. It looks like we're probably going to need game 3 here. Deal some damages, gain some lives. Well, opponent's got some draws in the bank. If there's any card that can get my opponent back into this game, it's definitely Lanipois Sight. Like, it's basically like I've talked about it. You know, we're playing it too. It's a draw 3 in the bank. I mean, you don't even have to like get my opinion on what I think the tier decks are. You can literally just like go on Hex Meta and look it up. The top performing decks right now are we do them by champion for the most part. There's small variations, obviously, but like Kaigalichu, Boris Blastforge, McBombus, and forgetting what the other one is that's been doing well recently are like the best ones right now. So my opponent's top card is going to draw a card, but we are at 44 with 8 life draining power on the table. Hey, Hacky, what's going on, mate? I'm glad my wife's friend's internet is stable here. That was one of my concerns when I said I was going to stream from here, that the internet wouldn't work well. Oh, Uzu. Uzu Cannon. Correct. That's the 4th one. Hacky subbed for 2 months in a row. Welcome back, Hacky. I appreciate the support. Thank you. Thank you for the continued support. Man, so about these transmogs and about these Exarch of the Eggs. Exarch seems like poop. Transmog seems like a solid medium. I don't know how I feel about all this. Maybe I just want subterfuges. Or counter magics. Maybe I just want to like split the difference here. Subterfuge can be bad for the same reason Transmog can be bad. I know I said counter magic's hard to cast earlier, but I think one's fine. Oh, if he's going long, maybe I just want all these counter magics. I'm gonna play Subterfuge too. Breaking up his curve a little bit is usually pretty good. So we won the game where we transmogged this thing and had to transmog it again, so we got that going for us. We got it going on. Man, if this was a princess, this hand would be nuts. I think this is still a keep. Kiss and King are both really good. We have Oracle Song. Need to draw a Sapphire Shard, obviously. His hand wants an Inquisition into a Sapphire Shard in our first like 2 to 3 draws, and those will be like the stones. Banks is tier 1. I don't know if Banks is tier 1. Like, you have to just like go based on numbers. I don't think Banks had the numbers last I checked on Hex Meta. What's going on, Infernum? This hand could draw all Sapphire cards and die. That would be really awkward. There's the Thunderfields here that we did not see in the second game. This card makes Exarch of the Egg better, but you're not hearing a thing now. It looks like I still have sound. Dallas is hot. I had never seen the thermostat on my car read 3 digits before this weekend. Definitely reading 3 digits right now. Landing sight again. Opponents gearing up for a longer game. Usually, I think they have extra landing sight in their reserves. Really want to hit some shards. Great. Not a Sapphire shard, but that's fine. It's still gonna let us cast VK next turn. I'm traveling this week. We took a little bit of a family road trip. I drove to Orlando to play the Open there, and then wife and I spent a day at Disney, and then we're visiting some of my wife's friends in Dallas right now. Oh God, he's drawing so many cards. He's drawing so many cards. I'm gonna kiss this Bumblebot this turn. So that way it can't threaten to block my VK here in a bit. Also buffered our life total a little bit. Our resources are going to be tied up for the next few turns deploying these VKs, so getting that out of the way is good, I think. We're well on our way to casting our Big Daddy Dragon. If he ships in with both of these 1/1s, I'm not blocking because he likely has Crackling Bolts in his deck, and Crackling Bolt does 3, and I'm not willing to trade Seer plus a Crackling Bolt for my VK. I mean, the deck of my opponent's playing isn't exactly new. This version's been out for a while. Zigamot's game. Kill your guys. God bless you. Oh, it's a game that draws cards. That's bad. Ugh. Thunderfield Elder. Gross. Play another VK out next turn. Opponent's got 7 cards in their hand still, which is a little terrifying. Alright, well, that's a Shard Prism. Hopefully we're just going to draw a Sapphire Shard and not have to play that out. We didn't get Phoenix. That turn would have been much worse if we would have gotten Phoenix. So now the question becomes, if he ships with both of his guys, do I trade VK for this plus something else? And then he has a second Ragefire for my VK, I'm sure. Because why not? Yep. Good beats opponent. Yeah, I don't have Extinctions in my deck post board right now, which could be a mistake, but things are definitely not looking great for us. If we draw Sapphire Shard this turn into Oracle Song for Kiss, maybe we're okay. Alright, Princess. I think I'm supposed to play this Prism out. That's tough. Yeah, I think I'm just supposed to play this Prism. I really want to cast this Uru at some point here. This is like scale of 1 to dead. I'm assuming this card's very dead, and so are we. Like, my opponent casting 2 Landing Pod Sight is just like pretty hard to come back from, especially when they have double answer for both of our Vampire Kings. Opponent hit the right half of their deck this game. Alright, so in the off chance we hit like Sapphire Shard this turn, and then the Uru sticks, and we don't just die, we could have a chance, I suppose. He's got 2 spells that are going to be doubled coming up real soon, though, so yeah, just another Sapphire card. We'll pack it in. Queue up another one here. Running a quick commercial for those that are still here, my subs and the people who ad block. You dirty, dirty people, you. Wait a second so people don't miss out on anything. Sir Giles Rowan could very well be the elf deck that I've worked on a little bit. We're gonna play first, but we're not gonna keep her mulligan until we get to talk a little bit about what's going on. Could be a humans deck, that's true. Alright, so this hand's pretty good against most aggressive decks, so we're definitely keeping this. I'm going to play this out on 1 for a blood. That way we can Inquisition on 2 if we need to. I'm going to go ahead and go Exarch into Song and possibly Extinction if we need to. Opponent's champion generally indicates a troop deck of some sort. Yep, Bladed Diamond, so probably humans. Valiant Escort, sure. His 2-1 does not line up well against my 1-3. So my opponent's card, for those that aren't aware, this is a 2-1 that he can pay a resource and sacrifice this to basically save another troop. It's a really sweet interaction because it allows my opponent to basically extend into a sweeper while still having protection for one of his cards as long as he leaves a resource up for the Valiant Escort. Let's go ahead and go Sapphire Shard into Oracle Song here. So what's worst case scenario here? He goes like Shard plus the give my guy 2/2 and save it. Inquisition, okay, it's not bad. Hopefully he just like spends all of his resources to play a bunch of troops out this turn, and then we get to get him with Extinction. That would be a deal. This is only a single ruby, right? All right, Buccaneer. Well, this is like best case scenario for us, right? Like he not only did he put our troop back in our hand, so Buccaneer when it comes into play, it returns a troop you don't control its owner's hand, and it costs 1 more, so this actually is going to cost us 3 to replay. But now he can't use his Valiant Escort to save the William Rowan, and we just get to Extinction all 3 of his guys, all at the cost of a little bit of life. Seems great. Let's go ahead and play this, and then just sweep, sweep, sweep. Get him out of here. Let's just do deals damage to an opposing troop. Troops control get 1/1, sure. This is when this enters play, gain a threshold, it's just fixing. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast Inquisition next turn, just because this card's gonna run out of things to do pretty quickly against an aggressive deck. And then we'll probably play our Shard and then play our 3-cost Exarch out. Okay, sweet. We got a removal spell out of his hand. Blast cards a Shard, so we're sitting in a pretty good spot here. Ooh, that's a pretty good draw. So this is whenever you gain a charge, you can exhaust an opposing troop. So that means you get to play his resource out here, which gives him a charge, and it's going to go ahead and exhaust our Exarch. He's going to crack us for 6 here, which triggers this, which makes all of his guys bigger. So it's a good thing we have this second Extinction here. So we're going to go to 14. He's going to have 12 power on the table, and then we're just going to go ahead and chump check real quick here. So just this attack is free. Our opponent could block, and then our guy just dies, but our guy's going to die to the Extinction anyway, so the attack is free. Maybe we get a point of damage. Let's go ahead and just cash this in. All right. Now the question becomes, if I don't hit a Shard, do I play VK or do I go Song plus Exarch? I think I'm supposed to go... Alright, we hit a Shard. So the fact that we hit a Shard means we're just going to go Exarch plus VK. And then if opponent doesn't draw a removal spell next turn, the VK's life drain should put this game out of reach pretty quickly for my opponent. Alright, and this exarch of the egg, every time I play them, puts spider eggs in my opponent's deck. So that's what's happened here. My opponent drew a spider egg, and when my opponent draws an egg, it hatches into a 1/1 that is unblockable for me. So welcome to the team, Spider Dude. Get some spooters up in here. Spooter time! Spooter time! Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Gonna get the spooters. Alright. Song first here. Man, no shard. Rough. That's fine. We're winning this game by a lot. We don't need to hit a shard, but it's always funny when you like draw 3 cards and don't see a shard in 27 shards. Alright, so opponent's playing an aggressive troop-based deck. Probably don't want Inquisitions in my deck. Vampire Kiss seems fine. We're pretty well set up against these aggressive decks game 1. I think I'm going to board out the Verdicts and just like board in the Vampire Princess. Actually, I'm going to bring in 1 Transmogrifade and then 3 Princesses. We're pretty well set up in these aggressive matchups to start just because like the context of our deck. And actually, I'm going to cut an Oracle Song and bring in an extra Princess. Just like have maximum life drain troops stabilize the board with. He's claiming a 78% win rate. I can't wait for the ladder matches to start because basically shooting fish in buckets will no longer be a thing. Like the fact that ladder is going to pair you against people with similar rankings means that people that are just like farming people who are worse than there will be much less happening. Yeah, this hand's pretty powerful. We just need a shard, but again, we're playing 27 and we're on the draw. Someone asked earlier about, my opponent just asked me about my thoughts on the changes for ladder, and I guess I can comment on this here. I think the ladder change overall is going to be super positive, but mostly just for the reason that I just said. Like, I'm excited to be paired against people with similar skill levels more often. Like, it'll actually help make me a better player playing against people that are like, you know, closer to what I am in terms of like how well I'm playing and things of that nature. The fact that Constructed Gauntlet's going away, I think, is something that had to be done. I know a lot of people have been pretty upset about that, but basically, Constructed Gauntlet is doomed to die if it tries to compete with the ladder, because all of the people that are playing Constructed Gauntlets and losing money will stop playing Gauntlets and just play the ladder, and then someone else starts losing money, and then they stop playing Gauntlets and start playing ladder, and eventually the Gauntlet just like runs out of people. So my opponent, again, this card is every time he gains a charge, he gets to exhaust something, so I got to exhaust my guy. He gets in here for 2. I'm going to go ahead and play my Sapphire shard out here. Play Lanupaw's Sight. I don't think guilds are fully integrated into Hex yet, right? I'm unsure. So I'm going to play another thing out. I'm just going to let him get a Ruby shard and pump these guys up. Let's go ahead and exhaust my guy again here. It's a little frustrating. Probably going to have to pull the trigger on this Extinction next turn, especially if he plays out even 1 more troop. This is a tough sell. What do I want to do here? You know, part of me wants to just transmog that. Yeah, I'm actually just going to go ahead and cast Oracle Song here. I'm going to play this, and I'm just going to ship the turn here, I think. And again, I'm not attacking with this because it forces him to have a resource every turn in order to attack through. Oh, there's another resource here. Would not be surprised if he has Verdict of the Ancient Kings on his deck post reserves. I'm going to go ahead and transmog his 1-drop here, which often turns into something that just doesn't do anything. Yep, so most of the random 0-drops just don't do anything. So we have to go ahead and take our licks for 3 here. Just doesn't have another play. That's so strange. Huh. Want to play Lanupaw's Sight out here. I really don't want to cast Extinction because, yeah, I'm just going to cast Kill. Let's just cast Kill on this. Okay, and he has the Verdict of the Ancient Kings I've been talking about possibly playing around. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass the turn here. Actually, I'm just going to transmog this guy so that way it stops exhausting my thing. And that way I can block with Exarch of the Egg next turn. And he got a Blood Infusion device, so I should have transmogged before entering combat there, because it actually turned this into something useless for him too, so I could have attacked for 1. Yeah, you got a Buccaneer, that's fine. Would like a shard. Perfect. So we have to go shard into sight into Exarch of the Egg. If he gets a Verdict there, I actually don't hate verdicting my Lanupaw's Sight. Because, like, again, it's a delayed draw 3, but it's still a draw 3. Nice! And these Exarchs have been putting Spiderling eggs into my opponent's deck, and we just hit a couple eggs. I wonder if my opponent... By the look at my opponent's deck, it almost looks like he's just splashing the Guile's activation off of... he's splashing the Guile's activation off of the Cobblestones, which is a really interesting idea. Wow, he's burning his deck. Okay, that's fine. Shard here would be good, because I get to go VK plus Kiss. Perfect. It's a shard that draws a card from our Lanupaw's Sight. Let's Kiss the Cook here. And I'm making sure to use the Kiss now as opposed to using the Kill that draws a card, because I already know what my next play after this Kiss is going to be, and my opponent only has 1 resource up right now, so I want to make sure I get to resolve the card that gains me life right now as opposed to something else. And actually, I'm just going to play the Exarch of the Egg out, because he's going to get to trade with his guy, and if he has another bounce thing, he's probably going to bounce it. He attacks, we block. Deal. You're not wrong, he could have Stone Skin. Hopart Unicorns, this gives all of his guys invincible till end of turn. If he sacrifices it. I'm actually just going to go ahead and cast Extinction here on just this guy, because this card makes Extinction useless anyways, and I want to play my own VK, so Extinction is going to be awkward for that anyways. I'm going to activate this and create a Oracle Song and draw some more cards. Maybe find another shard. Found a VK that draws a card, draws 2 cards. It's like Christmas. So like when you find like that action or that troop that's like really buried down in your deck after you've cast a couple Lanupaw's Sights, you're like, oh, I forgot I had these cards coming. Oh, it's so much fun. It's like a surprise hex card. Transmog. Actually, I really don't care about that, do I? Just a 3/3 against my 3/4s. Play this Vampire King. Draw 2 cards. Schedule. Play this sad Vampire King that does not draw any cards. Play this. Combat trading with draw 2 seems good. So his hand must just be removal spells, right? Or counter magic? Because if he has troops, he would have played them out, because when Vampire King hits him, it can possibly take troops away. So every time Vampire King hits your opponent, it reveals a card at random from their hand, and if it reveals a troop, we get to steal that card. What you got? A burn and a burn. Sure. I'm kind of surprised he didn't attack with the Hope Heart Unicorn and like try and trade the Hope Heart plus a burn for my VK. One said GG's. Alright, we're 3-1 in this gauntlet now. Just keep on keeping on. Seems like a bad play. Yeah, all of the decks that are, there's the troop-based decks that are weak to extinction are obviously very bad in this matchup. Oh no, it re-queued us. That's a little awkward. Magic Online leagues do this too. It's a little blah. So this is a new gauntlet for my opponent, which means since it's technically a new gauntlet for my opponent, it can re-queue him into us. This hand's a medium keep in this matchup, but I think on the play it's fine. Like, at least in Sealed Gauntlet, you'll have someone with a different deck in the second time if they re-queue. This is the same opponent. I'm going to transmog his 1-drop into a 0-drop. And this is something that'll happen less with ladder 2, which is nice. Hoping to draw some more removal here, but we'll see how this goes. So this card has a wall of text on it. We didn't read this last time. Let's take a look at this. This card is really sweet design. So when this card enters play, it creates a new card and puts it into my opponent's deck called Rowan, which is a 5/5 for 3 that makes his William Rowans have Swift Strike and deal double damage. And every time this card attacks, the Rowan moves up in my opponent's deck. And when it gets to the top of their deck, it comes into play for free. Alright, well, drawing a 2-drop there is pretty good because it allows us to do Vampire King this turn into 2/3 next turn, which is nice. The question now becomes, if he ships with these, do I trade VK for one of these plus like a burn out of his hand? I think I'm supposed to on this board. Ooh, doesn't have Ruby. Okay, so now he's just not attacking in, I assume? Yep. Vampire King doing his best Moat impersonation. Not attacking my Vampire King into these two guys because we'll basically trade my VK for his 3/2. Since VK only has 3 points of power, and that's obviously not worthwhile. Here's the escort, sure. We're about to draw a whole fistful of cards here because we just cast a Lanupause Sight. Oh, jeez. Swift Strike can deal double damage. This is going to deal 6 to me, and I can't even block it because it'll Swift Strike through. I could double block it and basically trade my VK for his William Roam, but that doesn't seem very good, so let's just not do that. Maybe I'm supposed to cash this in as a gain 3 there, but we've got a lot of cards coming here, so... Exarch of the Egg, draw a card when we play it from the Lanupause site. Oracle Song, draw a bunch of cards, one from the Lanupause site, 2 because it's an Oracle Song. Play a Blood Shard, draw a card because it's Blood Shard. Go ahead and pass the turn here, I think. Yeah. Oh, what does this do when this attacks? Wait. Oh, when this attacks, if this is out, everything gets 1/1. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's move to blocks and block here and block here and block here. Yep. So we're taking 8. Really need an extinction here. Forgot this does something when he has... Yep, he's returning his other Valiant Escort to his hand basically so I don't life drain here. Am I supposed to earn as? So I could earn as and get back his Valiant Escort. And then VK trades here. This eats 1. No, that's still like... I think I just have to shard and then hope to song into an extinction here. I think that's the line. Got 4 of them into 41 cards. Yep. Sometimes you flat out and die. Ugh. It's unfortunate. My webcam just moved. It's just sitting here on the armrest here. All right, we just board the same way we did last time. Let's go ahead and board the Inquisitions out. Transmog, Kisses, Vampire Princesses in, Verdicts out. Mass Poly's probably too slow. Yeah, Mass Poly's too slow. Just cut that. You can't do your own troops. It's only your opponent's troops, but someone else just mentioned that. So someone asked again, I actually talked a little bit earlier, like there was a very good thread on the forum, and this is someone else posted this line of thought, and it's great. So the constructed gauntlets will stop firing if they're trying to compete with a ladder. And the reason why the constructed gauntlets will stop firing if they're trying to compete with a ladder is as follows. The people that are not going infinite, so they're having to pay in money constantly to play constructed gauntlets, will stop playing constructed gauntlets and just play ladder matches because ladder matches don't cost them money. Then someone else has to take over that spot of losing money. Someone else has to take over that spot, losing money. Someone that was previously infinite is now no longer infinite. And then eventually that player stops playing gauntlets. And now there's less people playing gauntlets. And then again, another person stops playing gauntlets. And another person stops playing gauntlets. And then eventually you have no one left playing your gauntlet matches. Then they died anyways. I agree. We want something that allows you to still work on and earn prizes from playing constructed. Like, there needs to be some kind of prizes at the top once you reach cosmic. I assume at some point, hopefully, like they mentioned, they're going to have more 100k tournaments. Maybe the ladder system is going to tie into queuing for 100ks or something like that. We don't know. But right now they haven't announced anything like that, so it just looks like you get to the top of the ladder and nothing happening. But why would people currently losing in gauntlets? Why? Because there isn't an alternative. Because right now there isn't a free alternative for you to play where you still get to queue up constructed gauntlets, constructed matches, and have a chance to win things. Like these people that aren't going infinite in constructed gauntlets, there isn't an alternative for them to play best of 3 matches consistently like there will be with ladder. Yeah, he must just be splashing Ruby off of these Royal Heralds and the Cobblestones. Really neat idea. I get it. I get it. You're not happy with how the changes are right now. I agree that as announced, it doesn't sound great. But what I'm saying is I'm realistic, and that the constructed gauntlet won't be able to exist in its current form competing against the ladder. And if you think otherwise, you're not being realistic. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Just be realistic. As someone who basically plays only constructed gauntlets on here, I think removing them is a good thing because the queue times will become frustratingly long when a lot of people stop playing them and just play ladders instead. Deal. Oh, I guess I should have played these out first. I wasn't expecting him to double block there, but I definitely should have played these out first. I missed out on 4 eggs because Exarch of the Egg puts eggs into your opponent's deck for every Venom that comes into play. So that sequencing was poor on my part there. We have one more draw in the bank on an upcoming action from the Lanipause site. Then we have 2 more draws coming from our Dreaming Fox activation at some point here. It's a pretty good one to draw a card on. In theory, they'll rise a little, but in practice, it's not going to be a ton. If your dream is grinding like really, like your dream shouldn't be like grinding pennies in a gauntlet. Like even the people like myself who's like technically gone infinite in this gauntlet, like you're not making a ton of money. You're just like not spending a ton of money to play either. And now this landing pause site puts 3 more draws in the bank. I'm just a simple man who wants to draw a lot of hex cards. Really, that's what it boils down to. I'm going to attack with one of these and cast Extinction, I think. The fact that I drew this VK now, This extinction actually isn't a great trade for us. Maybe I'm supposed to wait. That's tough. We know he has Verdict of the Ancient Kings post reserves. Yeah, I'm going to cash this in. Yeah, and he just verdicts here anyways, which is great for us. Yeah, I definitely agree, Shosensi. Yep, completely agree. That's a little rough. Should have left this back. Oh, geez, we're getting cracked for 8 here. Yeah, I definitely should have left this other one back. So, like, I traded a point of damage for 3 points of damage now, basically. Oh, I could have transmogged this in response. You want to transmog this dork? Give him a random 2. Watch it be like the worst 2 possible for us. That's actually not very good. We take less damage this turn, but I'm actually going to have to reap that, I think. God, if he has a follow-up troop, too. Alright, well, let's reap this dork. Did I play the princess or play the kiss? I think I'm going to play the kiss because I really don't want him exhausting my exarch of the eggs. Ooh, candy. And yeah, I'm just going to hold back because, like, my Vampire Kings and my Dragon Lord here, they're going to close the game out hard. I'm not just going to get in chip shots and risk taking extra damage because of it. Yeah, but, like, you're making it out to be something that it's not. Like, there's still tournaments in the game. Like, the 5 shards things are still tournaments. Ooh, that's really good. Because it lets him kill one and then gain a charge and then exhaust this other one. Okay. They want you to remove all the perfect fits. Daggers. Shard. I need to be more specific with my requests. This is in fact what I asked for. It is a shard, but it does not let me cast the Uranaz this turn. Let's go ahead and cast my Vampire Princess and draw another card. And then let's go ahead and activate this and play an Oracle Song. Sitting pretty this game. Got a VK and an Uru in our hand. I would just like to say welcome. We've got a little over 160 people hanging out here this afternoon. Thanks for choosing to spend part of your day here watching and playing some Hex with me. And there's a lot of different things you could be doing and different people you could be watching. So thanks for choosing to spend part of your day here with me. Now the question becomes, if he attacks with this... Oh, he attacked with both. Huh. I kind of want to double block this 3-2. Yeah, I'm going to double block this 3-2 because it exhausting my things is really annoying. And he might trade the Hope Heart Unicorn here, but that's fine. Yeah, I agree, Immortals. I would be surprised if there's not some type of change to the top of the ladder prizes before everything rolls out. Still can't sub from your iPhone. I can give you the link directly. Alright, let's go ahead and play Uru. I am on vacation right now, Shadowzord. I'm not at home. So I'm streaming from my laptop with a single screen. I don't have a second monitor, so that's why the chat looks funky, because the Twitch alerts chat keeps freezing on this computer for some reason. Awesome random name. The game's a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot. Oh, look at that. We get a mirror knight that can inspire our troops. This is excellent. I'm actually in Dallas, Texas right now, because the next open is here this weekend. Brand new sub, welcome. Thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. And kids do as well. Ooh, Brightfall's pretty good. Let's kill my fat guy. He gets to ship in here for a good chunk of damage. Trading with the Hope Heart Unicorn here, obviously. We are down a game here. So we're going to 8 here off this attack. Let's be fair. MTGO killed itself for you by being MTGO. Let's be completely honest. Oh jeez, my VK gets inspired here. So next turn I think I'm going to trade the Mirror Knight for one of his 3/1s, but I really wanted to draw at least one card off of it because I'm greedy. Oh, jeez. I was going to say he could have double removal here, and then we could be in trouble. Ooh, spooters. Ooh, spooters. I forgot. We played 3 Exarch of the Eggs this game, didn't we? We were bound to hit some spooters eventually. Right? This is a game we played 3 Exarchs. Yeah. There were a bunch of spooters in his deck. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. They're inspired spooters. Draw card spooters. Oh, baby. Alrighty. Alright, we're on the board. 1-1 here. Spooters that draw a card. It's the dream, really. We just like quit, sign off. We've lived the dream. Metronome was talking about the dream earlier. That's the dream right there. Just a simple spooter that draws a bunch of cards. This deck, so looking at the curve of this deck right now, this is why there's 27 shards in this deck. Like, there's 4 1s, 4 2s, and then everything costs 3. You just have to hit 3 shards in 3 turns, or you're just not playing with this deck. Really, you probably need to hit like 5 in 5 turns, so play 27 shards, kids. Maybe we should just be running it, right? Right? Broke it. Oh, this hand. It's game 3. We have 20 minutes. Tell me if you keep this hand, and I think it's really close. Like, Kiss, Kill, and King are all very good, and like, if we hit a Sapphire Shard, the Transmog and the Sight are good as well. I think I'm talking myself into keeping this. The reason for mulliganing would be that we'll easily have a hand with more shards at 6 most of the time, and we'll have a higher chance to draw Extinction. But our opponent also has a lot of answers to Extinction post-reserves. They have Verdict of the Ancient Kings, and they have Valiant Escorts, and they have the Hope Heart Unicorns, so I think I'm going to keep this on the draw. Yeah, I think I keep this. Even if we don't even need to draw a Blood Shard for this hand to be good. Like, if we had to draw specifically Blood Shard for this hand to be good, I think it's definitely a mulligan. But the fact that we can draw Blood Shard or Sapphire Shard and have this hand be great is fine. And even this, like, drawing Exarch of the Egg is a non-shard that's good. So, like, we had 25 shards that were good draws, and we have 3 draw steps to find them realistically. And we had 4 more Exarch of the Eggs that were also good draws. Never didn't have it, kids. Alright, so, I think I'm actually going to play this and then transmog this guy here. Let's just be efficient here. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and transmorg Mr. Rowan here. Hopefully not into a scary 1-drop. Yes, that is one of the least scary 1-drops. The old Rage 1. It's going to, despite all its rage, it is still literally a rat in a cage. Now the question becomes, what do I do next turn? Hmm?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? Did you bring me actual food?
No, just juice. I'm gonna go out and get you something. We were already almost back before I remembered about you.
Thanks. Way to forget me.
Do you want it? I don't want it.
No, I guess I'll pick up your phone.
How's your game going?
We're
Can I
winning.
see you?
Yeah.
It's working okay?
My head is huge, and I want to see you. Alright. Yeah, game's working fine.
Good. Love you.
Transmog on his turn, so he didn't have attack. Because he could, like, have Sapphire Shard or Avert or something. So, like, what are we supposed to... What are we supposed to do here? So I'm playing this. I just have so many choices here. We could kiss his guy. We could transmog. We could just play Exarch. Maybe playing Exarch is best. It's the least resource efficient though. I kind of like playing Exarch out this turn, even though it's not resource efficient, because if my opponent spends removal on Exarch, I'm more likely to have Vampire King stick, which is nice. The downside to playing Exarch here is if I play a 3-drop this turn and then Vampire King next turn, I could go 3-drop plus 2-drop on turn 5 and just be completely resource efficient, which maybe that's ideal. Yeah, Immortal, sorry. Normally they don't, but I'm like, and we drew the shard here. So again, I would have chosen to be more resource efficient. I would have a 3-drop plus Exarch of the Egg next turn. So it's very possible I just missequenced. My opponent's also missing shard drops here, so like, there's a very real possibility. It just doesn't matter. But like, he has Bridesfall here. So yeah, so my sequencing here has not been ideal. So we're going down to 15 here. Yeah, and now we have to... Yeah, I'm just going to kiss this. And then play the Shard of Cunning out. And then we do get to go 3-drop next turn, but again, I feel like I probably shouldn't have played the Exarch the turn I did just because of the way the sequencing ended up lining up.
Well, 'cause I offered him my I remembered when we were like burning out
Well, Extinction is what the kids could call a good draw. I think I'm just cashing it in now. Just like, it's a straight 2-for-1. Opponent's got a lot of cards in hand. We'll get 3 draws in the bank here and 2 more draws coming up off of that. So I think I just want to like buffer my life tool a little bit, especially since I took some hits because of the sequencing mistakes that I made earlier in this game. Hopefully he just plays out 1 troop this turn, and then we get to go Lanupause Sight plus kill. And there's the Rowan that William Rowan put into his deck. I must have put it in fairly high. Let's go ahead and kill this. I'm just going to do this now so we don't get like interrupted on his turn. I just want to make sure this 5/5 gets dead. Play a Shard, play a Lanupause Sight, and then off to the races. We get a lot of cards in the bank here. Quick clicking loses games. Does troop mean creature? Yeah, troops are the guys that show up on the battlefield, basically. So this card draws a card. Excellent. This card draws a card. Excellent. You know, maybe I'm supposed to do this first in case we hit an extinction. There is definitely a world where we lose this game still. Check out this link for sure, Extha, if you're new. It's a good resource. I'm gonna go ahead and transmog his guy not only because it draws a card, but also because it means he won't be able to exhaust our Vampire Princess. And he got a Gas Troll, which means every time he plays a Ruby card, it gets bigger, so it's not just useless for him.
Chicken's easy and good. Are you cooking now? It's 9:02.
So opponent got their 3rd threshold here. Huh, so he's representing burn here? Yeah, I'm just going to take the hit for 1, possibly 2. If he has a burn here, he's probably sending it to my dome. Okay, it could have been a Stone Cold Bluff there.
Don't you know that? I can't touch it. Like, I'm not bothered that you're touching
I'm gonna go ahead and attack with Vampire Princess here.
Would you want that in your hands?
There's a Buccaneer in his hand. So he gets to buck my Exarch next turn, so I'm gonna go ahead and reap his 3/1 here.
Is there something you would like?
Food?
But what? Do you have a preference?
No, not really.
Alright. McDonald's it is.
No, please no. Not disgusting fast food.
Alright.
McDonald's, Chick-fil-A.
Chipotle, Panera, something like
Do you
that.
have any Chipotle or Panera type restaurants near here?
Is there Chipotle real close?
All right, and he has a Buccaneer here as
Do you want
well.
Chipotle or Panera? They're
Uh,
both closed.
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
That's closer. Good.
Do you want corn quesadilla or a bowl?
Bowl.
What do you want in it?
The usual. Extra cheese.
Extra cheese.
No beans. I haven't been getting beans.
No beans. Extra cheese. No beans.
All right, we hit a kill. That's not bad. Let's keep playing our shards out here as we work towards our next Streaming Fox activation. There's definitely, like I said, a world where we lose this game. If we keep bricking and he runs some gas off here. Opponents unstumbled a little bit here. They were stuck on 2 shards for a long while there.
I washed my hands.
Oh, that's why he hadn't. Okay, so now this probably means the game is over. I was like, why isn't he playing out this Buccaneer? But he had a Verdict of the Ancient King stuck in his hand, which the Vampire Princess got. So that's probably the game. He said GG's. GG's,
I
opponent.
didn't notice that stuff. You put it in the wrong place. Would you prefer if I drive? Or would you like to drive?
Make sure you get the guac on the side. God, that's like a pro tip right there.
You did not put special. What about the block? Why do you want it on the side?
Someone in chat said if you get the guac on the side, it's the same price, but they give you more. Oh, you know what?
No, they don't.
What?
You would have to pay for it.
Yeah, so I'm a vegetarian, so if you don't get meat on your bowl, they don't charge you to put guac on it.
The guac takes the place of the meat, and if you get it on the side, it doesn't take the place of the meat. And I'm not convinced that there's more in that cup than on the bowl.
That's an interesting gem on that. I almost wonder if you'd want unblockable on this. I think that's probably better than the direct damage. No, I'm a vegetarian because I really don't like how meat tastes for the most part. I just don't eat things I don't like. I think I have to burn kill on his 3/1 here. I'm trying to decide, like, is there anything he could draw that would make burning kill on the 3/1 be a punishment? Probably not. Probably just supposed to buffer my life total here. Again, like I said, if he just runs off mono gas, and we brick for a while here, we could be in trouble. All right, we found some spooters. Get in there, spooter. All right, we got it. Like I say, my opponent said that match was pretty hard for him, and I'm inclined to agree. So we're 4-1 in this gauntlet now. Just keep on keeping on. We'll queue up the next match. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Thanks, Murderpunk. It's nice to have. It's been a while since I've top 8'd it open. You know, it's first one this season. I play all of them, so like, you're bound to hit run goods eventually. The Abzan deck's very good. I actually just submitted my article to Card Market about it. Double deep fried bacon. That's a lot of. Ugh. Ugh. I've only been a vegetarian for about. It's almost a decade now, but I'm only 25, so. Another Bombus, one of our losses earlier. So let's make sure the commercial's done running. Don't want to cut anyone off. Appreciate everyone sitting through those. Yep, sweet. We're all done with that. So let's go ahead and play first here. GG's Warlord. Apologies for the double the re-queue after you joined a new gauntlet. This hand is not keepable. Let's take it back. That sounds actually pretty good. It's so weird streaming from one screen. I am not kidding. I was born in 91. I come off as older than I am. It's the thinning hairline and the kids and the angry old man vibe. I know I'm at the very least put off mid-30s, but I am in fact 25. Alrighty, so hit that, and then let's go ahead and Inquisition here and see what it's working with. His hand is pretty good. Ugh. I think I have to take the Ziggy game here. This hand's gonna lean pretty heavy on this VK. And game can get rid of that. So he's got Bolt, Rage Fire, Gobbler, Elder. My life. Yeah, I mean, I knew I wanted to have kids at some point. I just can't imagine like people that have kids in like their mid 30s and then like your kid's 18 and you're 50 something. I want them like I'm like gone and out at some point. Kids are great, but you know, I want to like by the time I'm ready to do other stuff, not be completely ancient. Alright, so not drawing non-shards would be great at some point. Alright, so we drew Arcane Focus. That was a sit for the turn. Arcane Focus was actually a really good draw because it let him play the Knob Gobbler and trigger his Bumblebot nicely this turn. She listens better when it's not by play. I want to cast this Extinction, but I don't because we know my opponent has Thunderfield Elder in his hand, and I want to catch that with the Extinction. And we have Fish. That's fair, Ian. So now he can Crackling Bolt plus attack. He might just play the Knob Gobbler and ship here. I think if he plays the Gobbler and ships, and I can't block here because I know he has Crackling Bolt. So we're just gonna take the hit here. Yeah, we just take the hit, and then he's gonna Bolt plus Rage Fire this Vampire King, which actually does not put us in a good spot. Again, I think this matchup's pretty hard. Really? That's a interesting line. Second VK is not bad. Loco in Las Vegas with the resub. Welcome back. I appreciate the continued support, mate. Thank you very much. 1 in 4 chance to get a Gobbler. Alrighty, that's unfortunate. Do I want to cash that in? I don't think I do. Yeah, I'm just going to play this other VK out and pass the turn. Owning your own home's overrated, Immortals. It's a giant cash pit. That's a pretty good draw. Oh, that's ridiculously. Oh God. Oh God. Oh, everything turned out so much worse than expected. Everything went so much worse than God, just the face melting. Oh God. Well, we tried, team. A for effort. I don't think we could ever, can't ever win. Oh God, he just drew so many cards. And now he plays the Thunderfield Seer out, and then he plays the Ziggy games again. And then yeah, man. Oh yeah, we're done here. We're done here. All right, let's try again, team. Kisses and Princess. I think I'm really not sure how I want to board this matchup. They're not an aggro deck. They're like a combo control deck, really. The opponent's deck is not an aggro deck. I think classifying it as such is wrong. Yeah, so for the people that don't understand exactly what happened and why I conceded. So my opponent was playing Prophecy cards, which modify the cards you're playing. And he had modified a card that says, you destroy a troop at random, and if you destroy your own troop, it returns this card to your hand. So, it was that, and that card was modified, so it drew a card when he played it, and it copied itself when he played it. So the copy went back to his hand, so he got to kill one of my things, draw 2 cards, and then just like it was all not good. All right, we might. Someone asked about the scraps. I haven't actually brought them in yet. We have not played. The scraps are for a Blood Mirror, and we've not played a Blood Mirror yet. I think after this gauntlet, we're going to revisit the reserves and add another card or 2 for this matchup specifically. I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like we need a little bit of a change to keep up in this matchup. It also might just be that, like, this is the matchup that we're giving up with this deck. I feel like a lot of the matches that I've played, I'm pretty firmly ahead. So, like, if we have a bad matchup, we have a bad matchup. Like, you can't win everything all the time. So I think I'm actually going to hold Counter Magic this turn. It's very likely my opponent has a Thunderfield Seer or a Lanupause Sight this turn. I'd like to just Counter Magic it. If he just passes the turn again, we feel a little bit bad, but I'm very happy to counter magic whichever one of these he plays. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna play. I'm gonna play this out too and just pass the turn again. If we didn't hit a shard, I think I'd jam the Oracle Song there, but I think I'd rather just hold up counter magic again. And there's the landing pause site, so he baited the first counter magic, and now we get to take this as well. Alternatively, you could sell your body. Yep. I hope the next update fixes that bug where the animation still happens even after you counter it. You could, like, buy all of Hex for the cost of Geeky Cord. Play this out. Get a second blood threshold. With life siphon. I mean, I don't think, in my experience, the games that I'm losing aren't life siphon wouldn't have won me the game. I'm trying, and I'm honestly not even sure. Like, there might not even be a card that we can play that works reasonably. Honestly, maybe Withering Touch is the droid I'm looking for, or like more Verdict of the Ancient King, something aggressive to like take cards away from my opponent. So we're going to go ahead and take away his Rage Fire here. He's got... The scary thing again here is my opponent has 3 draws in the bank with that landing pause site. Yeah, actually, the more I think about it, I think I want Withering Touch. Subterfuge is basically only coming in against the Boris decks, and those decks aren't that scary to play against. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to reap this on my turn because the Vampire Kiss is a quick action. Now I kind of wish I would have... I wish I would have kissed last turn to play the Vampire Princess this turn, but c'est la vie. No, he had a second sight. Definitely had a second sight. I'm going to try Coffins in this matchup. I really don't like Coffins in matchups like these. That's really gross. So it does 6. He gets 2 charges and draws a card. That's a really interesting idea. They're making it Azure Fate with Mill. Turned his 2/2 into a 1/1. Sounds great. Yeah, the landing pod sites are definitely like the cards that run away with the game. So like maybe Azure Fate Sorceress is okay. Kind of want to draw more shards, but also not terribly unhappy drawing a Vampire Princess. I'm going to transmog my guy here because there's a chance it lives. Is that right? That's got to be wrong. Alright, hopefully we make this into poop as well. There are a lot of scary ones my opponent could hit here. Like that! That's a scary one. That... Yep. Alrighty. Hashtag at least it doesn't have speed. No, I'd probably run it back card for card Martyr Punk, and actually that's what my article says. Will say that's going up tomorrow. This is a 5/4 that when it deals damage to an opposing champion, opposing troops get defensive. Shard's a good draw here because it lets me kill this and hold up Kiss, or Kill this plus have Vampire Princess. I think I'm gonna play Princess out here. I'm just gonna play this. My opponent, that's a rather strange one drop. Alright, my opponent can deploy a Phoenix this turn, which is kind of scary. Really don't want to trade my Princess for a Phoenix. How many actions are in his crypt? Probably too many. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, plenty. Seriously. Now he gets to play 2 Phoenixes and we're dead? Yeah, just dead. Yeah, definitely gonna have to do something to make the Bombus matchup better. Let's cube another one here and see if we finish 5-2 or 4-3. Yeah, I'm not sure I want the 4th Transmog in the reserves anymore. The Lixil decks are becoming more and more popular, but honestly, 3 Transmogs plus a Mass Poly Dingler is probably enough for those matchups. So cards in the reserves that are up for change, the Transmog could go, 1 or both the Subterfuges could go, probably at least 1 of the Scraps can go, 3 extra threats on the board is probably plenty. Yeah, Chronic Madness could be okay. Actually, in all honesty, I've thought about playing a Chronic Madness in the board just like for an alternate win con in like the Pseudo Mirror. Like, Chronic Madness is good just in the Blood Mirrors where the games just go super long. So maybe I just want like 2 Chronic Madness. Giant Corpse Life feels good. Yeah, Giant Corpse Life's not unreasonable. I don't think it's better than anything else we have going on. And I don't think it fixes... I don't think Corpse Fly is good against the matchups that are hard, which is notably the Bombus deck. I really like the idea of Chronic Madness, though. This deck that I'm playing right now is definitely built to beat up on the Boris decks, and Bombus has become more popular again, so definitely need a few changes at the very least. It could even just be another Kiss. Vampire Kiss is pretty good. Like killing their threats and buffering our life total a little bit. Yay, Chipotle!
How you doing, my love?
You're the best.
Don't be mad, but when we left Chipotle, I saw McAllister's.
That's fine.
I didn't grab you. I feel like I'm working in this one. Am I wrong?
Has Coffins made Ancestor unplayable now? No, I don't think so. I think people overvalue close coffins
My
in this
belly
game.
is very hurting.
Oh my god, they are for her. Yeah. No, they're identical. I'm pretty sure they're made in the same factory and they're just put in different boxes. I'm going to take a nap.
Alright, have fun. You're on vacation, nap all you want until the kids wake up.
So the kids wake up.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm currently in Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas. I guess I'm technically in Fort Worth.
This kid isn't sleeping.
Which one, Jake?
That one. Maybe Jake?
You think Mass Poly is really good against Witch deck? The Spectres die, they all go, sure. But, like, they just build back up, right? I'm interested to see if the average ladder queue is longer or shorter than Gauntlets. My guesstimate is that's going to be shorter. Hate Bears question. Is there a Hate Bear style deck? Oh, I missed that. I don't think there's a Hate Bear style deck that sees much play. There are some Hate Bears in the form. Like, what are the Hate Bears? There's Subtle Striker and Frost Wizard could both be considered Hate Bears. What else? What else would be a Hate Bear type thing? Alrighty. You're a brat.
No.
You are not having Dad's Chipotle.
Why not?
So, could be a mirror. I think this hand's pretty good against an unknown, though. Turn 1 chosen. That's pretty scary for in a control mirror. So this is a card someone will talk about, actually. So at the start of every one of my opponent's turns, this creates 2 new cards, which are 2/2 flights for 1 that draw a card when you play them. So we're going to need to take that off the table ASAP, because there's no way we're going to beat our way through a bunch of 2/2s that draw them cards. The Artifact Extracted Hex. Excellent. Awesome, Smith. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, Loco, message me on Twitter, and I will send you my P.O. Box information. Whenever you gain a charge, add a storm counter to this. Move all storm counters, create a random stormling. For each one, remove this way. That's a lot of must answer things. Alright, let's get another blood here. So hopefully just going to curve Sight into Extinction here. Opponent likely has counter magic in their deck though, so not all of our stuff is going to resolve. Preview, yeah, we're going to be primarily, starting in July, we're going to be primarily Hex here on stream. Tomorrow's going to be a Magic stream, and then next week we'll still have Split again, but overall it's going to be more Hex, less Magic. Welcome back with the resub. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to play this Exarch of the Egg out here. Because I drew a shard that didn't make a temporary resource this turn, I opted to play that so I can guaranteed play Extinction next turn. Playing my Exarch into the Extinction seems a little awkward, but I feel like this is likely not going to resolve next turn anyways. Alright, come here. I'll give you some Chipotle. You hungry, baby? Say, I love Chipotle, Dad. Don't deny me Chipotle. Alright, so, Actually, was I just supposed to transmog his thing? Yeah, I'm supposed to transmog his thing. Well, I guess Stormcloud's pretty good to kill, too. Yeah, I'm just gonna burn the extinction. I'm pretty sure this is walking into counter magic. Let's see. You're adorable. Oh, this camera is movable. Look. You can get some Declan cam. Isn't he precious? Say hi, Internet. I have a Batman outfit on. Hi, Internet. My name is D-Money. Yeah, you cute? You're cute. Ugh, and here's his combo. So it's Cerulean Mirror Knight. Makes it so every time my opponent has a troop that costs 2 or more come into play, it gains the ability to draw a card when it dies. And now he's going to sacrifice it to Stormcloud, make 3 guys, and then all of those guys will draw cards when they die because there's Cerulean Mirror Knight on the table. Peace, Loco. Thanks, man. So I'm not in a great spot. I think I'm just supposed to kill plus transmog here. I'm currently in a friend's living room in Dallas, Texas. Or Fort Worth, Texas, I suppose. So all of these do different things when my opponent sacrifices them. This one can deal 2 damage to an exhausted troop, and when it dies, he draws a card. This one can exhaust a troop, and when it dies, he draws a card. Likely a Reese Shard. Shard? God bless you. Inspired. I mean, I don't think there's like... I don't think Inspire is a mechanic you should build around because like it encourages you to like extend. But I do think Inspire is a playable mechanic on average. So opponent's last card's Transmog. Land plus light gives us 3 draws in the bank. Opponent also has 3 draws in the bank though. And again, they can sacrifice these things at any point. Did I miss a resub? The sub notification is stuck on stream. Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, I'm streaming from my laptop, so I don't have 2 screens right now, which makes it difficult / impossible to see things like that. Sweet. Alrighty, ran some shards off here, which is nice. We are taking a beating in the air though. Opponent's got 4 points in the air right now, which is not good for us. We're at 18, so it's a 4-turn clock. Speeds up to 5 if he draws even 1 more Ancestor Spectre. Thanks, LabTech. Hopefully he played something I can verdict this turn. Okay, so that's probably going to activate this, and when he casts this Oracle Song, I'm going to verdict it. Because verdict interrupts a non-troop card. It's basically like taking 2 cards away from him. We are playing 28 shards in my deck that I'm playing right now. Another Spectre, sure. So this is likely a Reese that my opponent has tunneled here. And we know his last card's a Transmogrifade, so... let's go ahead and draw some cards here. And, yeah, I guess I want to do this because the VK he'll just transmog. This is a little unfortunate. Yeah, Tom had very powerful draws in all 3 of our games. And my draw was fairly mediocre. I don't know, I could have... My article this week is talking about the event, and like I talked about that match and like things I could have done differently. So I think it's Lanopause Sight this turn, plus Shard of Cunning, and then next turn we can cash in the Extinction, hopefully. Yeah, so this is a Reese coming in. So this card is a 4/4 that gains speed. And at the end of every one of my opponent's turns, it creates a random robot. The article will go up tomorrow morning. I believe it's 10 a.m. Eastern. Or 11 a.m. Eastern or something like that. So my opponent's got 3 cards in hand, one of which we know. He's got 2 draws in the bank here. So hopefully he... and my opponent just got a really sad 1/1. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have counter magic in all of their cards. So let's cast Extinction here. So he's got 1 card we don't know, and these cards he can sacrifice to draw cards. So if there's not a counter magic in his top 2, we're in an okay spot here.
He's sitting at the table eating a cookie over in the bathroom.
Okay. Please, please, dealer, please. Please, please, please. Concession ready. Yay, we didn't lose. All right, sweet. Well, now we continue playing. So, just this specific Extinction draws a card. And I'll pull it up here. So you can see this one says it's prophesized. So the Lanopause Sight added the line of text draw card to it. Alright, so he has a Reese here. And this Reese, you can see the difference here. This Reese only made a 1/1 defensive for my opponent. And the reason for this difference is that my opponent didn't tunnel this Reese. When Reese gets tunneled, he gets bonus text on him, basically. Should have played the Sapphire Shard, because you can see this one is prophesized, so it draws a card. I'm going to go ahead and play this VK out. I know my opponent has a Transmogrifade in his hand, but he's going to transmog something at some point. So Peak, what Peak does here is you have to look at cards on the top of your deck with the number of Sapphire threshold you have. So my opponent's looking at their top 9 cards right now and taking their favorite out of it. So this is getting transmogged, and they probably have a good card in their hand. I'm actually still on vacation. I'm streaming from Dallas-Fort Worth area right now. I just didn't want to take an entire week off, so... or 10 days, really, because I had to take that Friday off. Alright, let's playing some shards out. Mastery of Time, take an extra turn, sure. So opponent casts Literal Time Walk. It's Time Walk that exiles itself. This is a Reese. Okay, so he has a 4/4 here. Transmog my Vampire King before I untap. Ruinier Hierophant that has, when this has Rage 1, sure. I'm going to start by playing my Sapphire Shard that draws a card. See what we find. Draw another shard. I'm actually going to cash the Extinction, I think. We don't know the last card in his hand. I'm going to go ahead and cycle the Shard Prism, because if we find Exarch of the Egg, we would like to play it out. We found a kill, that's fine. Choose a wild. I did not. I haven't really been keeping up. I watched a little bit of the motivation stream the other day while I was riding in the car, but other than that, I really haven't been watching anything while I've been gone. Play this, and we're getting closer. So again, my charge, both of us actually. He's on 5 and I'm on 5. We'll both be hitting our second champion activation soon. This Inquisition lets us look at their hand, discard a card. I'm going to hold on to this Inquisition until we really want to make sure something resolves. So I'm going to wait till we draw a threat, and then check for Transmog or Counter Magic, etc. before playing it out. And even though we have 2 Inquisitions, I still want to wait and hold it before we resolve. Also, my opponent could like draw 2 cards at some point here, and then have extra cards that we could take with Inquisition. We hit a Spiderling that Exarch of the Egg put into my opponent's deck. That's pretty good. I get to start nipping away. I think I'm going to kill this. Yeah, I'm just going to kill this. I guess I'm going to Inquisition first, because he might fight over this kill if he has Counter Magic. So let's Inquisition him. He has Counter Magic. Okay. Inquisition him again. He has 2 Counter Magics. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and activate my champion power here. I mean, it's not a rumor. I posted that I'm not going to be streaming Magic consistently anymore. Oh, look, what a happy coincidence that Vampire King draws a card. I'm going to give him a chance to draw a troop for the turn and inspire it with his guy and just get this Vampire King out here. Draw a card from that, gain some life. I need to find a not MTG bot. I think Worker Bot actually does commands and stuff, so I'm going to do that at some point here. We found some candy. Go ahead and play Madargan out. Accept. Take my opponent's Reese. Play this. Play Mass Polydingler. Attack with my guys. The old Uru Mass Polydingler double spell turn. My Reese creates a random robot, which gets me an Assault Bot. This 4/2. Yeah, man, you got a Spectre. Any comeback my opponent could have this game definitely starts with a wall of Ancestral Spectres, so. Let's go ahead and I'm going to kill his Ancestral Spectre here and then ship with the team so my dragon hits him and I get to take a guy out. Rawr, attack with the squad. When the dragon hits him, I get to take a troop out of his crypt again. Or he's just dead because he didn't block. Mass Poly for him. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, Mass Poly are definitely going to make it. Game goes long, so Counter Magic seems good. Princess seems good. Charge Colossus seems good. Grave Offering doesn't seem like the worst. I don't know if I want Scrap or not. He has Transmog in his deck, so Scrap's probably not very good. What's bad? Exarch doesn't seem great. Transmog is medium. I think I want to cut some of my sweepers, but I definitely need some in to deal with his Reeses when they resolve. That's fair. Turning into 6 cost isn't the worst. Uranaz, he actually doesn't have any like individually very powerful threats, so maybe I don't want Uranaz. I just want like Charge Colossus and Scrapper. And I'm bringing in Vampire Princess as an additional threat, so maybe I just want to be like a little bit more threat-like. I think I'm going to submit like this. That seems fine. I'm not sure I want any other cards on my board. I could see maybe wanting Scrap or Uru, but Uranaz, whatever you want to call him. I don't think I like that better than these other cards I'm already playing. Maybe the Reap's not stellar. Let's try one Scrap and one Uru. Let's do that. See how this goes. It's weird that Jake's sleeping and Declan isn't. Hand's pretty good. And Transmog and Early Spectre. Get Inquisition before Vampire King. Scrap is just a value card. It's guaranteed to take a while for your opponent to kill. You want a hard to kill threat basically. If we had Chronic Madness on the board, we'd definitely bring it in this matchup. Scrap was ideally there for the Blood Mirrors. Let's Inquisition my opponent here, and the next turn we can Inquisition plus Transmog possibly. I think we're definitely just taking away his counter magic here. S-Curve's just super strong. Next turn we go Inquisition plus Transmog your guy. On the following turn we get to play VK. I think he's debating whether or not he wants to use this. If he uses this, that's fine. And we'll use the Transmog on something else later. Huh. Now, do I want Oracle Song or Inquisition? He has Verdict of the Ancient Kings. I think I'm actually just going to Oracle Song here. Yeah, I'm just going to Song. I think he counters this, but I think I'd rather have this Inquisition for later. And if he lets this resolve, that's great for us. Wow, that's, like I said, that's just great for us. I'll take that exchange every time, good sir. I'd recommend countering my draw 2 next time. So he has a Mastery of Time in his hand. I don't think I'm really worried about that, while he doesn't have like a Reese or something like that out. Now the question becomes, do I jam VK? Yeah, I think I just jam VK, and then next turn we get to go Inquisition into Princess. He has a peak, sure, so he's looking at his top 4 since he has 4 Sapphire Threshold. Peek into peak. Peek into peak is less good when you're not playing Winter Moon. Why are we complaining, tiny boy?
Because he wants your wallet.
Because he wants my wallet. Oh, children.
And he just pooped.
And he just pooped. God, kids are great. Well, my opponent's series of draws, they were pretty good. He got a Mirror Knight into another... I guess he had Peak. Yes, he didn't just naturally draw all of those. He definitely had. There was definitely a peak involved. Start on Inquisition, perhaps? Yeah, it seems fine. And take away his Mastery of Time. I think I'm just going to go ahead and transmog this. But I want to just play Vampire Princess. I guess Vampire Princess can pressure his hand. It's more resource efficient, and it can pressure his hand and eventually take that card, the Verdict of the Ancient Kings, away from him. Do I want to attack with this? If I attack with this, he could trade these two for it. I don't think I want to do that. I want to make him like trade an activation off of one of these two. So opponent has 3 draws in the bank right now, plus this activation, so they're going to pick up a lot of cards this turn. I think I'm just going to pass the turn here. Although he has to interact with this Vampire Princess if I attack. Yeah, let's ship. Let's pressure him a little bit. He could like block here and then sack both of these to deal 2 damage to my exhausted troop twice. But I think that's still a fine exchange for, especially with the second Vampire Princess in the hand. Vampires versus cute cloud things, right? Oh, he's killing the VK, really? Interesting. I expected him to prioritize killing the princess. Huh. So we know my opponent has Verdict of the Ancient Kings in hand. We don't know any of his other cards right now. Ancestors Chosen, sure. Ancestors Chosen, sure. So we're gonna cycle the Shard Prism. Get our second Sapphire here so we can play this counter magic out. Yeah, this is the altar art Cerulean Mirror Knight. It's very pretty. Start by shipping with my princesses here. Because again, ideally I would like to take the Verdict of the Ancient Kings out of his hand with the princess rather than let him.
You were hungry, huh?
Transmog's 1, sure. Turned into a what? Control 5 or more troops with different cost. Troops you control. Alright, so just straight up killed my guy. That's unfortunate. He's gonna chump here and then draw some cards. Maybe I'm supposed to just do this. Yeah, I think I just have to like fight through his Verdict this turn. I'm gonna Oracle Song and then I'll counter magic his Verdict of the Ancient Kings. Wow, really? Just lets it happen. That's so aggressive. I really don't want to Inquisition this turn because he'll likely just Verdict it, and I want to Verdict something else, or Inquisition something else.
Want to take D to play outside?
Alright.
Can you come and get me if either Jake or Ellie wakes up?
Yep.
I closed Teresa's door since you're streaming. She said she wouldn't be able to hear her if she woke, so I told her I'd get her.
Yeah.
We're just gonna get the
Wanna go outside?
Alright, well I'm glad we're up a game, so it looks like we're actually losing this one now. His Mirror Knight into second Cloud Guy was a good turn. Let's start on Inquisition here. He Verdicts, and I'm going to counter magic here. Okay, we got 2 counter spells out of him. That's probably what was happening either way. Do I want to play Prince? Do I want to ship with the Princess here? I really don't want to ship Princess into both of these. I could also transmog this. I should probably transmog one of these two idiots, right? So he just stops putting infinite things into his deck. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. I'd like to find a dingler at this point. Second Mirror Knight's scary. Need a dingler ASAP now, basically. Ooh. Candy. Oh geez, and some of these draw cards, right? I can sacrifice this to draw 2 cards? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you get in here, Uru. Don't have another counterspell. Don't do it. Have a heart. Have a heart. Five or more troops at a different cost. So that's probably just not happening. Sack this squishy. Okay. Pass the turn here, I think. Maybe boarding one of these down was wrong, although charge colossus wouldn't be bad here either, I suppose. I think I'm going to attack with both of these. If he wants to double block and kill the princess, that means Uru connects, which is good for me. So either of these connecting is good. If he wants to go chump, that's fine. Opponent has Sapphire Shard. I'm going to play out VK here. I think I'm going to cycle this. Yeah, I'm just going to cycle this now in case we draw a shard to play out. Oh, another verdict. That's good. So we're actually sitting in a pretty good spot here. We can beat a dingler. We can beat most things at this point, honestly. The second one of those is actually kind of scary. Ship with the squad. To see a shard twice. We've got triple counter magic up. Counter magic plus 2 verdicts. Please don't beat the dingler in public, right? If he plays a ancestral specter, I'm going to counter magic it so his future specters cost 3, I believe. God, if he just passes here, this game should be pretty much over. Yeah, another chosen's fine. Ship. If he doesn't have a shard here, he's in trouble too. Counterspell. I would like to activate. Neither of these say draw cards, right? This one says draw a card. This one kills an exhausted creature though, right? Exhausted troop? That's a tough sell. I think I'd rather just have another flying troop. This is a shard. Play a shard out. Yeah, I think I'm just supposed to pass the turn here. He's like dead in the air by a lot. And we have counter magic, kills, and verdicts here. Sweet. Looks like we're going to finish this gauntlet 5-2, which is awesome. This is GG's. GG's opponent. Alright. 5-2. Not bad. Get them packs in there. Let's see here. Let's pull it up and see what we're thinking about, if we want to change anything here. I think that's what I called it. Stands for anti-Runeer deck. ARED. So I'm pretty happy with the main deck that we have going on here. I don't think I want to change anything here. The resources have been nice. I like the main deck. I like the main deck quite a bit. The reserves definitely leave something to be desired in certain matchups, especially like we said, the Bombus matchup. I think I'm cutting at least one scrap. OBS Drew Dodred. OBS is use OBS Studio. It's fully cross-platform, runs on everything. The fourth transmog is going away, I think we said, and possibly these subterfuges. We're talking about a Chronic Madness or two for interacting with their Lanupause sites. I think Chronic... We talked about Azure Fate, but I think Chronic Madness is honestly just better. Our two losses in that gauntlet were to Bombus decks. So I want some more cards for those. I almost think I want to cut the Subterfuge as well, and then like play 2 Chronic Madness and like 2 Withering Touch. I think that's what I want to do. Because Chronic Madness, this doubles as a win condition against in like the long drawn out matches too. This is a little awkward against Bombus with their Phoenixes, but I think it's probably fine. This is also okay against Boris for breaking up their chains. I don't like close coffins against Boris. Yeah, this card seems to be like exactly what we want to be doing for that type of effect. It's like, it's cheap. One of the other kids just woke up. I'll be right back. Start hanging out, folks. So we're gonna play some more matches here in just a minute. Eliana is up. It is hot.
Huh?
It's sweltering out there.
How do I get the dog to come in? Dog's gonna eat.
So just come in a minute. Lady, come on. Come on, lady. Here. Oh, poor Porky. Ugh. Yeah, like we're not going to try and like mill someone out entirely with this card. We want this card to screw up Lanupause sites, and we want it to screw up Crowfeather prophecies, and we want it to screw up in the super long games. We might mill someone out with it, like a Winter Moon deck or something like that, or like a straight mirror. But I think on average, like this card's just like countering Lanupause site basically. It's not a Portillo's cup. It's what is this called? Whataburger. Can you open those cookies?
Which cookies?
Pick your favorite.
The mint ones and the blueberry ones are already open.
You know, it's funny. I actually don't. Mint, please. I don't actually think Gale Force and Lullaby are all that good against Bombus. Like the games I'm losing to Bombus, I feel like I'd be losing even if I had access to those cards. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. I think that's good. Good for changes I want to try next. I'm gonna throw up a straw poll for what people want to say. I'm gonna go for another hour or so. Let's see what people want to see for that time. All right, vote for what you want to see. If you care. We're gonna keep playing Hex. Hex were the only things on the poll there, but what type of Hex? Let's see how I would build Bombus.